Action.
Okay, there we go. I like that.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Smokin Jokin podcast. I'm Mason.
And I'm Steven.
So we're just here to smoke, joke, and hang out and teach you a little bit about weed, but also tell you some fun stories.
Yep.
Yeah, we're just here for a good time. That's the gist.
You know, Mason and I have been in this marijuana business here in Oklahoma since it opened. And
Pretty much.
we've learned more than you could ever imagine and learn it every day. And our hope is that we can all learn this stuff together and have some fun and smoke.
Yeah. So today's topic is going to be the bare necessities. Disney, don't sue us. So we're just going to show you a few things that, are our bare necessities.
Well, and I'm a smoker. So
Yeah, me too.
primarily my everyday kind of focuses around smoking. So
Yeah. And I just realized I forgot one of my things. But before we get to anything anyways, we gotta smoke first.
Yeah.
Before we can do any joking, we gotta do less smoking. You know what I mean?
Right. So I've got some
So
necessities here.
yeah, Steve's got the necessities. I'm gonna go run and get my other necessity that I forgot. That's bad on me. But yeah, Steve's gonna start preparing us a little bit of Schweed today.
Yep. And today it's going to be Sunday Driver. It's a nice hybrid, probably a little bit indica leaning, but not a whole lot. It breaks down real nice. The numbers on this one, and by the way, this one is from Rising Sun, great grow here in Oklahoma. It came in at 24%. Gosh, and the terps are great. So a lot of limonene, good for my stomach. Anyway, so I'm just going to break this down real quick, get this packed into a cone.
Yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and just get my Not Pot bag, which is from the brand Not Pot, but I use it as my on-the-go weed bag.
It really is pot. All right. So honestly, I'll be honest with you. I can't roll, and Mason can, but doesn't like doing it. So we resort to cones anytime we can. And a couple of them that we like, Elements, which is rice paper, and then these Blazy Susans. Both of them are real lightweight, flexible, and the great thing is they don't taste like paper. I did bring it. When you get your cones, they're going to come with these little pokers. I always use these little wood pokers. They're just harder to find, but you can use the cheap straw ones you get. So
Yeah, because
right.
in these, the Elements have the little tan, it's basically just a paper straw. Like, you get those gross paper straws that pretend they're eco-friendly and they just dissolve in your mouth. That's pretty much what you'll get in a pack of cones as well. But it's used for, packing the flour, obviously.
I will tell you what, though, this cone cannot pack itself fast enough because this Sunday Driver smells great.
Oh, it really does. It's kind of it's so interesting. Whenever we first got it in and, at the store, it smells more fruity almost, kind of sweet with a little bit of, cheesiness. But the longer it sits in a container, once you get it, the longer it gets to cure, it gets really cheesy and funky.
Yeah.
And that's what I like in my flour.
Me too. And I'm going to borrow this from my friend Mandy, but I am pretty much a hybrid hussy. I
am also a hybrid hussy. Yeah.
I don't need any help being anxious.
Don't need any help being anxious. Sativas are good at that sometimes. Sometimes indica. Oh,
hey, that was good.
We had a cone explosion.
If you caught that on the camera, that's how not to do it.
Just.
All right. So I made us a little bit of a dog walker here so we could try this. Now, this has nothing to do like we're trying to be uptown or anything, but Mason discovered that these glass tips that you can use to roll a blunt, that sort of thing, do a great job when you put them right on the end of your pre-roll. So They seem to burn a little better, and I know this, you get better hits. So,
Almost forgot.
ashtray.
Yeah, almost forgot like the biggest necessity for smoking a joint. An ashtray.
Yeah, or a lighter.
Heyo, got my
Hey,
lighter
we got it.
here.
All right, fantastic.
My big old candle-style torch lighter.
Which is great for lighting bowls, too.
Yeah.
And in case you're ever worried about being in the apocalypse and being in your cellar for 3 or 4 months, she brought a gigantic can of butane.
Yeah, if you could see this on the video, it's probably 2 solid feet long, the can of butane.
Size matters. It just does.
Size matters in this case. And you know what? I'm wasting I'm wasting a lot less than I would be just continuing to use the cheap old crack lighters or even the Bic lighters. Those,
Like I have in my pocket.
you know,
Well, I'll tell
they're
you
good,
this.
but
It is, you can feel those terps. It is a lung expander. It has got great taste.
it's got a good ash on it too. The ash is really. These microphones are gonna smell like weed so fast.
As long as I breathe on them, they're going to smell like weed.
Yeah, it's got a real nice sticky ash. That means you know it's good, moist, cured flour.
Yep. Yeah, and I can also tell because I'm already starting to get a little buzz. So
Yeah, Sunday
I'm not as
Driver.
scientific, and I feel really bad about
I
that.
feel like
but
it hits immediately behind the eyes. For me, my hairs are just out of control.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Heyo,
I don't know if the tip makes it look cooler, but I will say this.
that's what she said.
It wasn't glass, but it works better. I love the hits out of this thing. It does help to clean them on occasion, but
Yeah,
I
feel
forgot
like
to do that. Sorry.
I feel like you get a lot bigger hit with a glass tip. It's a cleaner hit. Always makes it burn smoother. We've discovered that in a very scientific discovery.
Sorry, it's called a smoke trap. Now, where I live, I cannot have my apartment smelling like weed.
Steven's got his own nifty device.
I just
I've never used one of those. Can I use that?
Yeah.
How does it work?
So you got a filter that's here that is replaceable. This seemed to last me about 2 weeks, I guess. And all you got to do is replace that. Just go in there. So when you take a hit, you just blow right into it. You'll notice some comes out. I haven't mastered it yet, but
Yeah, I've not used one of those.
oh, sorry. I handed it ash first. I bet the microphone worked there.
I bet it did.
And the funny thing is, you can feel the air coming out of the bottle.
You just blow right into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And luckily, she and I live in the same sewer, so we don't. We can share one of those. I wouldn't suggest if you don't know the person doing that.
I almost ashed into it. I'm so sorry.
It can add as a double as an ashtray if you need it to.
Now, here's something I'm noticing. If you're smiling or laughing whenever you blow the smoke into the smoke trap, it does come out of the side of your mouth a little bit. But I think that's more of a user error than a product error. So we're going to give it another go, maybe not laughing this time.
But I will say, I bought the wrong brand, off Amazon. I was a little toasty, and our friend Blay actually gave me.
I just blew half the cloud just into the air, forgot about the thing that I was holding.
You know, the more you smoke, the more that happens. Because I've noticed myself just taking a good hit where I'm not supposed to be smoking, and just enjoying blowing that.
That's exactly what just happened. I just enjoyed seeing that cloud that I just ripped.
That's really good flour, though. I mean, it really is good flour. And anyway, what I realized was I didn't buy the brand he told me, but this one's called Smoke Trap. When you rebuy the filters, there comes 3 in a pack. They're like $40. They're a little expensive, but it's 2 weeks of smoking for each one.
Yeah, I try not to smoke in the house too much as far as like joints go. Now I'm smoking my bong all day.
Well, and bowls don't count.
Yeah, and pretty much all I smoke out of is my bong. So there's that. You know, something that I'd like to ask you, Steven. What are we smoking about today? What are you smoking about today? Like, what's going on in your life that this Sunday driver is helping out with?
You know,
Because I can think of a few things for myself, not for you. I can think of a few areas that your life needs improvement.
It might be funnier though if you told mine. Just made them up. You know.
I thought it turned off for a second. Sorry, it
Oh.
didn't. It didn't. You're good. A weird red light just flashed.
Oh, it's this.
Oh,
There you go.
Got it.
You know, I'm in a great space today. I really
good.
am. I didn't sleep last night, so I'm pretty manic, which is, I'm in a great space.
So you're in a good headspace today.
Yeah,
Doing
I really
good.
am. So
That's good.
what did you get out of that flower?
Oh man, heavy behind the eyes.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like my mouth feels a little bit tingly.
Your eyes aren't small. No, see, it's
Yeah, the flower was good. I was a little bit annoyed today for about a half a second, but otherwise it's been a good day. I got up and I did my yoga, and it was really, really nice.
Good job. Good job.
I've kind of been slacking on that recently, but I got up, I
Me
did
too.
it.
Me
That is
too.
one of my bare necessities for life, to be honest. Yoga.
Yoga.
Started it during beginning of the pandemic, and man, does it help. So does weed with my mental health.
Another bare necessity for me, to be honest with you, is generally I will forget to do what we just did, is break the flower down, pack the comb, get ready for the day, and I'll forget. And, of course, then I've got to get have 3 pre-rolls in my pocket. So when I saw the tension starting to build up, I did get out a really good indica for
He
her,
did.
so-
He pulled out a dose blueberry afgoo, which
Oh, man.
is absolutely one of my favorites and a go-to. And quite frankly, a great friend move. So thank you.
Well.
Seeing my eyebrows start to furrow again, because he had just said, Mason, I can tell whenever you're getting close to solving a problem, and I can tell you're closer than you were earlier. And then about 3 seconds after that, I discovered a new problem and got much more infuriated. And that's when the dose pre-roll came out.
Well, and the good thing was I knew it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just
I didn't
like
have to say
frowning.
anything.
No, she wasn't frowning. It was like when one started doing this, like a nervous twist.
My
like
eyes
that.
started twitching.
Yeah, so that's when you break. And I will say, we do smoke a lot of those pre-rolls. It has
do.
nothing to do with being lazy and not packing them. They're just
good.
They're just damn good.
They're good. And, I discovered throughout the years of smoking that I don't always react well to distillates, and they don't do distillate. They do full spectrum, single source, so it's all from the same flower, and it makes a difference. It's really, really good quality.
Man,
And you don't have to smoke a lot. But that Sunday driver also really did the job. Like, it put me where I need to be, because it got me past the little edge of irritation that was still hanging on, And
it was a dog walker. We didn't even smoke that
yeah, it
much.
wasn't.
Okay.
We got the smoking out of the way. I think it's really time to dive in on our actual bare necessities.
I would love to hear yours, because you got some interesting stuff out of you, too.
Yeah, so if you're watching, I do have some things displayed on the table, but you don't need to be watching to learn about them. So I'm going to say number one, my barest of necessities is, well, my lighter. Sorry, I was looking for it. My lighter. Now, it's not just your standard Bic lighter. It's a miniature, candle torch. I think it came from the Dollar Tree. But it's refillable, and look at this. Hold up. I'm going to give a physical demonstration real quick. This was my first ever bong. I have recently gotten a new bong, but it's really dirty, so I don't have it here today.
It's pretty,
Anyways,
though.
2 of my bare necessities, my lighter and my bong. But look at this. You got this type of lighter. Boom. You're not burning your thumb when you light your bowl. Any direction, you're not burning your thumb. And that's a big problem for me.
Or
I'm
starting my
clumsy.
mustache on fire. And I'm not kidding.
Or
I do that.
that.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah, as you can see, these are made for getting into a can.
Yeah.
But it's got the long little neck, but it's not the big guy.
No.
Medium guy.
No.
It's adorable too.
Lifetime supply of butane.
Yeah, and so obviously, if you have a refillable lighter, then you have to have the lifetime supply of butane.
Or you can just use a crack lighter.
Or you can just use a crack lighter
49
like those.
cents at On Cue.
Where like the little flint will fly out within a week of use.
They said that if you throw these out in the street, they actually, like 1 out of 3 blow up. And that's cool. I haven't tried that yet.
I'm ever throwing those away because I just know they're going to light my house and our garbage on fire.
Blow up in the trash can.
Yeah. Now, my big ones are 1906 drops or abstract gummies. Now, either way, they serve a similar purpose, but the 1906 drops I usually use are the Goes, which have like caffeine and other plant medicines in them, as well as 5 milligrams of THC and 5 of CBD. But I take one of these pretty much every morning like a vitamin. And I'll take a Bliss as well. Now, Bliss is to help with like happiness, depression, anything like that. It's really good for anxiety too.
So you can take them at the same time?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So now combined, it will be 10 milligrams of THC and CBD, but I have a high enough tolerance that the 10 milligrams doesn't really give me a high, but I still feel the effects of these.
Yeah.
So I'll take those in the morning just like a vitamin, and it's kind of one of those things that I notice it more when I'm not taking it.
Yeah. But taking it like a vitamin, that's kind of the key, right?
Yeah, so I take it every day essentially, and I notice it more when I'm not taking them. Like I notice that my energy is down a lot more. So the Go is a good caffeine alternative, or alternative to drinking caffeine, I guess I should say. But these abstract gummies are essentially a gummy version of that same product in a way. I have the 2 gummies that are basically the gummy equivalent of those. So I have a Focus, which is 10 milligrams of THC, 2.5 of CBG. It's also got 2.5 of THCV in it, which is a focusing cannabinoid, and it's good for ADHD. But THCV also has a lot of other benefits that we can get into in a later episode. And then the other one that I'll take, if I'm kind of alternating between the drops and the gummies, is the Abstract Balance. And these are just 1-to-1, 10 milligrams of THC and 10 of CBD.
I honest to goodness believe that those type of products that Abstract and 1906 are doing, pardon me, I think that's the future. Because
I do too.
It's so focused on what you really need.
It is. It's much more accessible for people that don't want to smoke or can't.
Yeah.
And for people that have a lower tolerance and don't necessarily want to use a high milligram to achieve the effects that they're looking for. And
you break down that plant, there's parts of each part of that plant, the cannabinoids that are going to be useful for different parts. I saw something yesterday that CBN, which is the part of the plant that helps us relax or sleep, is selling for $2,000 a pound.
Wow.
So what they figured out is these parts of the plant work for that, and I will just give you one quick testimony because I don't really take a lot of those products, but I'm so impressed with them. Tried one of the Focus from Abstract, and I will tell you something that THCV, which we call vitamin V, by the way,
vitamin V,
it is energizing, uplifting, go.
It really is. But a few more things that are my essentials that I'll just cover really quickly. These Mobius patches, which you can find THC patches in different brands, but I would say Mobius are the best that I've found so far. Now, I have the Achy patch here, which is 60 milligrams of THC, 60 of CBD, and 2.5 of CBC, which I just kind of learned about this week, and I'll get into that, at a later time as well. But these patches, again, they have 5 or 6, 7 different kinds. Yep. I love the happy patches. Those are great when you just need a little bit of a lift. They've got monthly, which are fantastic for if you're on your period. They help with cramps. They've got the achy, which are also good for that. They've got sleepy, recovery for like hangover and after workout. And they've also got just one that's called a dab patch.
That's the one.
And it's made to enhance your dabs or your flour or whatever else you're taking with it. And I think it's just like 100 milligrams. But those patches are another thing like the 1906 and the abstract. It's a smaller dose, which those are a little bit higher testing, but they're big patches. So you can easily half them or quarter them if you worry at all about the doses.
Well, you're normally the scientist here, but I am going to be a scientist for a second. You remember the first patches that came out 2-3 years ago, and they were smaller dose, but they just didn't have it down where it wasn't breaking the water barrier enough. Pardon me. These seem to do a great job, and I can't remember working with any of you that one of you didn't have a patch on.
Yeah, a lot of the time when we're working, it's a really good functional product.
Yeah.
Because you can pretty much do anything and have your patch on, you know.
That's a good bare necessity.
It is, yeah. You know, of course, my smoking kit that I've tucked away, I always have jelly jars, like little miniature jelly jars to keep my ground up flour in. That's a necessity. Obviously, a grinder. And tweezers. I always have tweezers in my smoking kit. It's what I use to scoop my flour into my bowl. It's helpful to pick out stems or seeds if you come across those.
Now, you're not the only one that asked tweezers.
Yeah.
I looked and saw those. First time I saw her use them.
It just happened by accident one day, and then I was like, oh, God, I can't live without this.
Well, first time I saw you use them, I suddenly felt like my kit wasn't complete until I got tweezers.
It was unsatisfactory.
It was unsatisfactory. You know, one that would surprise you that people don't carry, but they need to, is, and a lot of folks don't even know what these are anymore, they're called a pipe cleaner. So like when your grandfather smoked his pipe, that he would run
or
this
like
thing.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes, like yeah, Sherlock Holmes. That's sorry,
because he was definitely smoking weed out of his pipe. I mean, let's get real.
Well, and he was 6% solution.
The wacky tobacco.
Cocaine too. He did.
Cut his weed with coke.
Yeah. I don't even think about that. Anyway, this is just a quick clean for your glass, and I always keep them in my backpack because I don't take time to clean them at home very well. So, yeah, I mean, for me, I don't have as many necessities, but
I know the bare necessities, and I've got 20 of them.
Well, but your bag is bigger, so that's good. You can carry more stuff.
I've also carried my gluten pills in here too, and my travel sickness. My gel. Oh my God, pain gel. Sorry, that's another necessity.
Yeah,
pain gel. Anyways,
but we also like not that we only like the way these smoke. We like these because they're in packages. When you throw them in your smoke pack, or like me, I put them in my backpack. They don't get mashed. So
no, they don't.
No. Well, I'm pretty simple.
Simple guy.
Yeah. You know, the only other thing
Simple
really
Steve.
for me is
hey, you got your Mario socks on today. I like it.
Yeah, man, I know. It's funny because you can't see anything below, and I was just going to wear shorts, and I realized that.
On pink socks.
Yeah, but I like those. That's good. I generally always have gummies with me.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those that I probably started taking higher dose gummies faster than I needed to be honest with you, just because I did. And so my tolerance went up. So I've set a number I want it to be at, which I'd like it to be back to 25 or something.
Same.
So that's what I'm carrying. And it's a lot of times you just can't smoke, and it helps me with pain through the day. So a little bit of gum. I'm pretty simple. I will say, though, that on an episode within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I want you to teach me things about what I should carry when I start dabbing. I want to dab at some point. I just haven't done it really. So
we'll probably have to have our house master dabber.
Yeah, we might have to do that
on an episode.
Yeah, I think so too. But that's for me. I'm pretty simple. Mine are just easy to carry in the backpack, and it's pretty much around smoking.
So pipe cleaner, cones,
yeah, the
glass tip.
and I've always got a couple of little pieces of glass with me that are easy. And
yeah, you got to have a chillum.
No, I will, and I've got it with me. You got to have a chillum. I also carry those in a smell-proof bag that I just got off Amazon.
Yeah, see, I'm not quite that fancy yet. I do need to get into that.
Well,
but I haven't quite made that step yet. I probably should.
For my kids and grandkids that are watching,
Right.
I always wanted to not walk into the house, and Grandpa's backpack always smelled like a bong.
Fair
So
enough.
I was working.
Fair enough. I thankfully I don't have any kids or grandchildren to worry about that with yet. And on the flip side of that, my grandparents I see usually are pretty chill about weed, so I can just walk up in there smelling like a big old joint,
I
and
like
they'll be
that.
they'll be cool with it.
And
They may make comments about it. They're gonna holler at me when I'm outside smoking and disturb my peace, but that's fine. That's
That's
just
why
part
you
of the
were out
thing.
there. Damn it! Don't they
Exactly.
understand that? But you say that though. I've actually, for the first time ever, started carrying a vape with me.
Oh yeah, I
'cause
forgot mine.
You don't smell like weed, and just out of for instance, my mom, I think she was best friends with Nancy Reagan, and and it's going to be a gateway drug.
It is a gateway drug.
It was a
It will
gateway
lead you to-
for sanity to me. I think maybe, but
I know, right? Like,
but you can't always smoke around those folks. A vape will work. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. And actually, that brings me to a good point. That I forgot to mention earlier.
It already
Sorry,
smells
just
like weed.
A dog hair landed directly on the microphone.
sure
It just
it-
appeared out of nowhere.
I'm sure it wasn't yours.
So, honestly, leave if this is TMI, but I'm on my period this week, and I discovered that the strain Sunday Driver that we just smoked. Now, I had not discussed this with him prior, but Sunday Driver tremendously helps me with cramps.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday or day before, it was really bad, like almost debilitating pain. Like I didn't want to get up and get around, but I had to go to work. And all I had on hand at that time was Sunday Driver. So
Yeah, that's
I
good.
ground it up, smoked a bowl, but after just like one. Hello? Hang on. Hello? Did you hear that?
Huh? It may have been the
Oh,
mailman or
it's
something.
Morgan.
Oh, it's Morgan.
Hang on.
We're
My
just
sister's
gonna let
here.
family in too. That's always a good idea.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So after just like one or two hits from the bowl, I wasn't feeling incredibly strong effects, but my cramps disappeared.
Yeah.
And I had not had any ibuprofen. I hadn't put on any pain gel, nothing like that. Yeah, it was incredible. I had never felt that quick of an effect.
For something you really needed right then, right?
And that just goes to show you that like this is truly a medicinal thing. Like just one single puff
Yeah.
off of that helped immediately take away my cramps for at least 15 minutes, I would
See?
say. At least 15, 20 minutes. And it's I had it in flour, but it's commonly available in vapes and
Yep.
in concentrate, so
And
it's
ask your
easily
bud
accessible.
tender. I mean, really ask them those kind of questions.
Right.
Don't be embarrassed because, we sell so many things from suppositories that you got to talk to people about. But that really helped you. And this is certainly not my forte, but what I've heard from so many patients in that same area, two products that you were just talking about. The Love pills from 1906 are supposed to help with cramps, and I think doesn't Mobius have a monthly? You said,
Yeah, and I used that the other day when I was at work, and it really, really helps.
it's probably a good time too that we borrowed this term from our friend Mandy, I brought her up. Oh,
Do you need a lighter again?
yeah, I almost forgot. See, and that's called time traveling.
That's called time traveling, a term you will hear us use frequently because we do it all the time.
But it's a good place to go for me. When I time travel, I'm usually somewhere where I actually am thinking about something positive. But snapping back from it, sometimes in front of the camera.
Yeah, because if you're watching, you'll notice I zoned out for a good minute, but I was still here a little bit. I was just time traveling.
We spend enough time together that we know when we're time traveling. So I just look over and I know that's when it's time for me to talk. We do
It's
that a
so
lot.
funny because it's true. Steve and I have spent many hours smoking together and joking together.
And this was an unscheduled smoke.
This was an unscheduled smoke, not in the agenda, but this is what we like to do to one another. You know, we call it our alarm. Our timer's going off. And usually it's not needed again, but you just might as well.
That little dog walker was really good.
It was
and
beautiful.
It was great flower, but we did go ahead and break out that dose pre-roll. And I will say, pardon me.
Oh, thank you.
I discovered Dose the first time because of their vape carts, full spectrum, pure cannabis oil, and it's nothing added. It's the entire plant. That's what they infuse this flower with. So
good.
They grow it, they make the cannabis oil, they infuse it with that, and the thing is, they're never harsh. I mean, they're a good smoke. They're great. They always have a good variety of strains too.
They really do, and it's always really unique strains. Like blueberry afgoo is not one that you ever see in flower, or really even in vapes. I haven't seen it that much. Every once in a while.
That's a good point. I've never seen it anywhere, I don't think.
Every once in a while, they'll have like a good, staple sort of strain, like GG4.
Yep.
Or like mimosa or, sour diesel, stuff like that.
Yep.
But they also always have really cool strains.
Ecto Cooler.
Man, one of our new favorite sativas.
Yeah, they...
Such a time traveler.
It's
holy cow.
You will time travel some places you had forgotten, and it's usually pretty fun, too. The problem is that I did have to check my insurance to see if it paid for rehab for Ecto Cooler, because those are so good. They're just perfect. These hit fast, and the great thing is about a couple 3 hits, and I'm right where I need to be. And it's for me, people I think that are around me that don't. They just don't agree with smoking, and I get that.
Yeah. Everybody's got their thing.
And of course, anything can be abused. But for me, when I'm smoking, I know exactly where I'm at. I take 2 or 3 hits of something. I know where I'm. Right now, I am golden. So because this dose, this golden dose is so good. So, whew. It does taste good though. It's a boy. If I'm gonna guess, 70-30 maybe indica.
Yeah, I would say it's. I can still move.
Function.
Yeah.
I know that.
But
you can imagine years of doing this that she's gonna be so excited when I just breaking a new episode that we didn't even plan and break out a new pre-roll or something, but. Oh, man.
Okay, Steve. So I was thinking about this. And for the people to know, we work at the same dispensary together.
Yep.
And have now.
Guys have that problem. Don't. Sometimes
it just, Anyways.
Yeah.
So you worked at the dispensary before I did, and I was a patient there.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
As it went, my sister lived in this town before I did, and then I moved up here, and she introduced me to you guys' dispensary that I now work at, and I just thought all of you were really cool, very informative, At in my old town, I had a really hard time finding dispensaries where I felt like I was getting like actual knowledge from the
they
employees.
gave a damn, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, basically, all you were doing was interrupting their high. They were pissed.
And it was really different for me to come into a dispensary as a complete like newbie, I guess, at the time. And actually feel like I was getting knowledge. Yeah. And not feel like I was being judged for not knowing much. At one point, my sister, I think, had gone in and, was talking to you guys about how I was looking for a job, and they encouraged her to tell me to apply. So I brought in a resume, didn't hear anything for a while. And then a couple months passed. I still wasn't too worried about it. Kept looking for other jobs, but did not find one because this was like end of 2020. So
we were
just coming out of like the depths of the beginning of the pandemic, and
remember we were doing curbside during pandemic. So when you started, we were saying, okay, put this mask on and run out and go help these sick people.
Exactly. Yeah.
And welcome to the weed business.
I was still welcomed with open arms, and I ended up putting in another resume a couple months later. Because somebody had mentioned again, like, hey, you really need to put in your resume here. We'd love for you to join our team. And then, being the annoying little desperate baby I wanted to be in there so bad. I called and harassed them every day, and I'm pretty sure every single day that I called, Steve was the one that answered. And so I know from my perspective, I know from my perspective, they probably saw my phone number pop up on the phone and said, Jesus Christ, she's calling again? Like, are you actually kidding me? What does she want? Like, yeah, we know you put in your resume. Stop calling.
Mason, what are you smoking today? How are you?
But now I've worked here for over 2 years. I'm now a manager at the dispensary, so I think my persistence paid off. But I want to know what it was like from you guys' point of view, because I've actually never asked anybody like what kind of patient was I in you guys' eyes? Like what was kind of the conversation going on behind the doors? Because I I just knew that I was being annoying to them, but I still showed my face there every day. And eventually I got a call of them saying, hey, we want you to come in for an interview. And I showed up for it.
Well,
took a couple months.
First thing is, though, I mean, very few places give a damn about vibe. And I always felt like that was their number one thing.
Yes.
You know, and the vibe was perfect. You just fit right in. And everybody, we're family. And the reason that was important, when you come in, it feels like that. I mean, it really does. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel near as uncomfortable. I want you to know, I actually bought grams of shake a couple times because I didn't know any better. Not that it's bad at all. You got to try it. It's just very little, and it's hard to get in the container. But no, it was always fun. We were learning so much then. Because it was still the Wild West. I mean, you didn't know what you were doing. So, but you do have to understand, and pardon my French here, but I'd been there about 3 weeks, and one of the bud tenders who'd been there a long time came up to me and said, does it ever cross your mind that every single time someone walks in the door, they think to themselves, I wonder what that old fuck's doing here? And I started having fun being the old guy from that point on, and that's why I think too. That's why we've always got along so good. There's a little bit of difference in our age, a little bit,
just a little, about a 40-year difference.
People were wondering right at first. For the love of God, I hope that's not his wife.
Oh God!
Oh, did you hear that? Oh God, yeah. Anyway, well, that's my background story too. That's about it. My background was medical, and so this was a perfect fit. I mean, because 90% of the people we talk to are ones that we're actually helping, and they don't know what's going on. So, it's pretty fulfilling, and I laugh more then than the rest of the day combined. So
yeah, it's a really fun time working there, and I'm glad that I annoyed my way through the door. Me too. Called and harassed every single day.
Just hire her, for God's sake.
I know.
She won't last. Don't worry.
I know. They thought they were just going to get rid of me, but I stuck around. I really did call every single day. It was not really great manners, but
I was like a bad penny. I just showed back up. I did too.
I don't know. I mean, I can be determined when I want to be. And that was something I was determined about. That
if you'd have seen before we started recording today, her determination to make these microphones work today.
My eyebrows were stuck like
she's
this.
Determined.
And guess what? Now they're both recording at the same time. They're both working.
She hopes. We're gonna find out.
And I also just realized this entire time we haven't checked the phone to make sure that it's still recording. But surely it's more reliable than the other camera was.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I started getting scared and sweating a little bit.
A minute 39.
A minute and 39 seconds was all we got of our first dry run. That was traumatizing.
What do you want to do with this thing in the weeks to come? I mean, there's so much we've got to cover every week that's fun and entertaining. But and honestly, if we don't throw in some stuff from the dispensary, if we don't do that, it's really a crime because we learn more from patients about how to use our products than we could ever imagine.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, all the different ways we get to hear about people using tree sap, which is just a flavored THC syrup. Like imagine like snow cone syrup, but with THC in it.
That's a good
in
description.
A bottle.
That's it.
Yeah, so we always ask our patients, how do you use it? We've heard everything from just chugging it to
Makes sense.
Putting it in wine. So a little bit more elevated or trashy, who knows?
I'm going to put that one as elevated because, or it depends how you look at it. The other one, my favorite, was old boy was buying sour apple tree sap. Now, it's 400 milligrams THC. And our normal question, how do you use it? You go, I got my beverage right across the way there. I got apple vodka. So he was mixing toast. So
yeah,
that
he
would
was
not be
like his plan was crossfaded from the get-go. He said, I don't even want to have to worry about smoking. I'm just going to mix them at the source.
for a week.
Yeah.
Now, I did think, though, I don't drink anymore, but I did think that the White Claw mixture was interesting.
Yeah, somebody said they mix it with White Claw, which I wonder about the logistics of like it actually dissolving in there.
Syrup. Get little pellets of syrup. But hey,
Pellets?
it gets you there. Pellets.
Ew. But
get-
there are many, many things. Steve just got a butter machine, so we're going to be
Yeah.
playing around with home infusions, and
And
we're
it
also
was fun the first time too, so
Yeah.
we'll do that. And
we're gonna put that against making edibles with RSO versus with your own oil, things like that. We're gonna play around with dabs. Let Steve do some dabs on camera. Heyo.
that's going to be a new fun experience for Steve-O.
There's gonna be a lot of mystery.
A lot of mystery.
A lot of mystery in store.
But you know what though? There's so many ways to get a hold of us though. What I'd love to see them do, everybody, is to tell us what you're thinking. If you got questions about dosing or how you use a product or picking flower or cleaning your glass or
We will do a segment on that.
any of that, we'll do it.
Let us know.
Yep. And if we're not experts yet, we'll try the THC product long enough till we are experts.
Yeah.
And then we'll help you with it. So yeah, but I just think it's going to be fun. There's a lot to explore, and I always will not do an added episode like that with the dose, but it was perfect timing. So
I almost forgot to ask you, Steven. What is your strain or product of the week? What is your what's your gold star this week?
You would think that the Sunday Driver was so good.
It was really good.
And I'm going to put that in my top 5 this week for sure. But I got to tell you, if you find it out there anywhere, it's from get that out. If you happen to find it anywhere, King's Hawaiian.
King's Hawaiian, yeah. Hideaway Farms.
Hideaway Farms. Thank you very
Tonkawa.
little.
That's where they're from.
Hideaway
Tonkawa.
Farm. Great grow. And that may be my strain of the week. It is
Yeah.
boy, it's body numbing, but it's just uplifting beyond belief. The numbers
So
are great, and it's a good
euphoric.
smoke. So if you find that out, I'd pick that one up. What do you think?
Sunday Driver is a big one for me this week, for sure. Who was our Sunday Driver grower? Do we remember?
Rising Sun, I think.
That sounds right.
I actually cheated. I read it off there.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. I couldn't remember either.
That is for sure a top contender for me.
Well, and this week, it actually serves a real medical purpose for
It
you.
really
as works.
did. Yeah.
Did the dose help any with that?
The dose has been very relaxing, if you can't tell by the look on my face and
No,
the sound
you're-
of my voice.
Your eyes are getting small. And so
They're
she
getting
told a patient her eyes
small.
were small.
Some strains make my eyes small, and actually, I think Sunday Driver was the one we were talking about doing that too.
I think that was one of them.
So I feel like Sunday Driver is just gonna have to be my strain / product of the week because
I like it.
man, it has checked all of the boxes that I've needed this week. It tastes good, it grinds up well, it burns well, and it helped tremendously with cramps. It's incredibly uplifting, and it's really a good anytime weed. So like, it's relaxing enough to be calming on the body, but I can still smoke it in the morning and not feel like I don't want to do anything.
Right.
You know? But if I'm already really tired, I can still smoke it and it'll put me to bed. It's not too...
That's good.
I guess it's not too, like, active in the brains.
Yeah.
It doesn't send my brain into overdrive. I guess that's what I'm saying.
That was nice when we were working on microphones. So
yes, it was. It was a nice, much needed edge remover. Edge remover.
Small time travel. It was go good.
There was a small time travel there. Sorry, this was a bit of a mess. First episode ever, though. I think we look amazing. We look incredible. We sound incredible. And we smoked some really good flower.
You know what? The great thing is that, and I'm really sorry, but Mason and I are so funny.
We think we're hilarious. And
we do
it'll get even better.
Yeah. When you get to feature Super Silver Haze, that'll do it.
Oh, my God.
Listen,
is it out on the shelf yet?
No, but it's close. It's close.
Oh, my God.
If you would just do us a favor, tell your friends, just plan on every single day the rest of your life tuning in, and I guarantee we'll be funny and we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, no, she'll be funny. I'll just sit here and look good. So anyway, but we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, what he said. I'm running out of things to say here, I think. But
we did it.
We'll see you again.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we got to see if this works.
Hey, we hit an hour. We hit an hour.